I'm in Bend,
This meeting
Oregon.
is being recorded.
This meeting's being recorded.
Right on.
Yeah. What's shaking with you? How was your big meeting after our weekend?
Oh, my strategic offsite meeting
Yeah.
is good. It's really good. I'm so grateful for the team that I've assembled. Like, these guys have it on lock. So many good ideas, and everyone's just contributing at a high level.
What a beautiful thing to say when you're the leader of a company, man. I mean, about as good as it gets. Marty, what's shaking?
What's up?
Marty, thank God I took my sweatshirt off. Good Lord.
I feel like I wear this every meeting.
I feel like you do too.
And yours is close by.
It's a theme. Shawn, what's shaking?
Hey, how you guys doing?
Good.
John,
What up, Emma? Joining the first one. Love it.
Hi.
hey,
Hi, Emma.
Hi, guys. I'm just out getting burritos for Shawn. So I'll be on camera soon.
Needs like a big burrito supply, like a big backlog at all times.
Yeah, like a semi truck full of burritos.
Shawn, where are you guys at? Are you still in Idaho?
We're in Bend, Oregon, and we are actually in Jason's old house.
Been there.
Emma, I'll see you on Thanksgiving.
There's Emma. Oh, Steve's joining that one. Awesome. Dude, I'm excited to see the turnout. This is the first time I haven't texted or emailed anyone to join. I know we have a couple other people trickling in, and but I do like that. I want to see often how it happens when you count on other people. I got 31 people accepted.
It's like a recurring thing though, so maybe mine are just like automatically accepted, you know?
Yeah. I'm going to send just a quick little email reminder. Marty, we got some real good time this weekend with Steve and Jason. A lot of this group was there. Did you get a chance to talk with Jason about it, Marty?
Yeah, dude, I called him right after I called you. He said he pretty much reiterated exactly what you said.
Really?
It sounded pretty awesome. Yeah, he told me a little bit more about like his personal experience with it, but yeah, man, sounded like a pretty incredible weekend.
It was good. To the side. No, it was fun. Steve, man, how have you? I know you want to talk about implementation, man. Don't be in what I say, implementation, integration. I'd love to hear a little bit about it now, like what questions you had.
I don't know if I have any questions, more looking for an accountability buddy to just kind of talk through what I'm doing, what I've done, and yeah. So yeah, I've got my personal practices. I listed them all out. If I tried to do all of them every day, like that's all I would be doing. So I need to, I think next step, figure out like, okay, how often am I going to journal? How often am I going to cold plunge? All these things, knowing that I also have, 10 to 12 hours a week of training to do for running. It all gets to be a lot. So, time management becomes key.
Yeah, definitely. I'm actually, if you go to my website or if you just Google Shawn Greenspan blog, perfection, I wrote a blog about that
Okay.
exact thing, about trying to chase the perfect day and how it's a little bit difficult. Brian, top of the morning to you.
How's it going? Shawn, I haven't seen you in so long. How's it been, buddy?
I know, right?
How's everybody doing in the group?
What's up,
Good.
Brian?
I thought I
Guys,
was late. I might
yeah.
have to sing.
Ooh, sounds like you want to sing.
Look, if there's a song in your heart, you should always put it out there, right? That's what they say.
True.
Somebody has said that in history.
Somebody has
probably.
said that. I'm just texting a few people here that I'm pretty sure want to join. Otherwise, we're gonna get going with this crew.
Were any of you guys on Shawn's retreat?
I was there.
Hey.
I was there.
What was your guys' favorite part? I'm jealous.
For me, probably just the community. Like, I didn't realize how much I was starved to have like deep interpersonal interaction with like extremely like-minded people. Like, nothing against this group, but it's different when you're there with people, right? Because there's that energy exchange. It was awesome.
Awesome. Love to hear that. Yeah, I definitely agree. In person definitely has like a whole other vibe going on to it.
Guys, I think we're gonna have like one or two people that might be joining late, but I like this little intimate group. I think kind of going off of what you were just talking about, Steve, like there's definitely a beauty in that that deeper container, deeper connection. So I think that was sweet. Emma, did you feel kind of like the same way about just, I don't know, we had 4 days, right? We were locked up together. Like that was it was just like such a good time.
I wouldn't describe it as being locked up together because it was very expansive and freeing. It was such a great time. We were just tucked away in northern Idaho, like no one knows Saggle. So that was kind of cool, just being so remote, and it just made the group a little more intimate. And it was a really, really cool opening, welcoming weekend. There was some cold exposure in a freezing lake, and you walked out back into snow. So that was cool. We did a really great nature hike, which was beautiful. But just the whole container was really fun, just getting to know new people, connecting with people I already know on a deeper level. So definitely next time, put it on the calendar, get there. It's definitely worth getting to and being in the room.
I'll try to do the next one on the East Coast. Maybe
Matt,
a little closer to some of the other people here.
may I ask a question, Emma? It's Emma, yeah? What did you learn about yourself?
Whew. That's a really great question. I learned to be confident with my voice, and that it like just, it gets to be easy. Like there's no need to put complexity around literally anything. Like I'll just leave it at that. It gets to be easy. It does.
Thanks, Brandon, how you
I'm
doing?
still a little raw from the weekend, and I'm sure some of you all are too. So, Brian, maybe next, I don't know how frequent these meetings are, but maybe next time I'll have a little something more concrete for you.
What's concrete than past mush? You know, I don't even know if that's a phrase that just like came out of the blue.
I like it.
Brian, we're quoting you. Brendan, how you darn, buddy?
Furr. My friend. I miss you guys. How's everyone?
Oh man.
What's
So
up, Brendan?
good.
Hey, what up, Steve?
Guys, for Marty, Brian, and Shawn, I actually want to, since 4 of the 7 of us were at the retreat, I think it could be really useful to talk about some of the things we learned and share with you guys. To start things on a little bit of a lighter note, at one of the deepest parts of the retreat, you know, we had the plant medicine ceremony that started with a 3-hour blindfolded meditation. And we got the cue from the music that, you know, it's time to, you know, try to come back into reality a little bit, take off the blindfold. You know, some people were in different places, and Brendan just popped up and said, "How you darn?" And it definitely got everyone smiling, which was good. But yeah, you know, I think that would be a really great thing to bring you guys into it. You know, I think Steve, Brendan, Emma, we can all talk a little bit about like what we've learned, and also, you know, kind of like challenge each other, and, you know, see what value we can continue to get from the retreat and deliver to Shawn, Brian, and Marty here. I think that'd be a really fun thing to think about. And I do want to start actually with something that we did quite a bit on the retreat, and that is intentions. So we, before we went into anything in the retreat, we set an intention, and I want to talk about why that's so important in my eyes. And if anyone has anything to add, please do. But everyone here is busy, right? You know, looking at people that work for themselves, looking at people that are at like startups that have critical roles, right? We all got a lot going on. Steve started with, if he did everything on his checklist every day, you know, he'd have no time left in the day. So our time is super important. And I think all of us know that feeling of like, when you like give your energy, your effort, and you get out of something what you really want to get in, or when you get, someone help me, when you get out of something what you want to,
What you put into it, or
yeah,
I feel like you were on the right path.
Yeah. You know, like it just, you don't think about all those other things on the to-do list, right? Like, honestly, right now, we had an 8.5-hour drive yesterday that took up the back half of the workday, got in really late. I didn't have time to work after. I am a little stressed right now. Like, wow, I have a lot on my to-do list. But as I'm talking about this, I'm thinking like, I'm either going to be here or I'm not. I'm either going to settle in and get everything I can out of this conversation, or I should just get off the call. And that is the number one thing that I took away, is that every single thing I do in life, I'm going to bring an intention to, bring my full energy, my full awareness. And, you know, I don't think anyone would disagree with that, but I'd love to hear what you guys would want to try to get out of the call today, and really what you want to focus on. I could go ahead and.
Well, just to piggyback off of what you're saying, Shawn, we have a very hectic few days, and I just ran to the grocery store to pick up some food. We just did a really quick, well, it was not quick. We did an hour workout this morning at 6 a.m. that we could have easily just pushed off our plate and slept in a little more because we have an earlier day tomorrow. You know, it's all of those little things that kind of add up, and we're in one of our favorite places ever. We're in Bend. And if any of you have been to Bend, you might know it's a little special spot. But I was starting to run around and, you know, went to the grocery store and coming back. We have a work, we have this call. And there's a sign in the neighborhood, and it's an old construction sign, and it says slow, but it says, Shawn, help me out with it, but it says, slow down, be where you are now. And it was such a really powerful reminder. I was like, oh, fuck. I don't need to think about what other meetings I have today. I don't have to think about, you know, tomorrow it's a probably going to be a 24-hour travel day for us from West Coast to East Coast. Instead, like, just be here now. We're in the bunkhouse. We are literally like in our favorite place. Like, I'm going to take a walk around the river and just be really present. And it was, I think those are the reminders that not only did we get from the weekend, from the retreat, but also like the little signs the universe just gently nudges us in the right direction and gives us that little inspo. But definitely just be present wherever you are.
Appreciate that. I like that old sign too in the neighborhood. Outside of being present, does anyone have any other intentions or anything that they really want, like energy they want to bring to this call, or anything they want to try to get out of this call?
I just want to recognize that everyone that's on this call is here by invitation, probably from Shawn, and thereby, like, vicariously through him, I know that each one of you, even if I've never met you, is extremely special person that has some wisdom nuggets to drop. And my intention is just to, as Emma said, be present, listen closely for those little tidbits that I can take with me for my day, either if it's for inspiration or if it's something I can apply to my life to improve my life. That's why I come every time.
Appreciate it, Steve. Thank you. Well,
Yeah, I'd say coming in, it's always kind of into these meetings. It's I don't necessarily have an intention every time coming in, but once they start flowing, it kind of picks up. So, I mean, when you said, walking through your guys' experience, I mean, my intention would just be, listening and trying to pick up whatever wisdom you guys have, and maybe just pushing the conversation forward and seeing if there's anything else that can be extrapolated from it. Chill.
Marty, are you?
Yes, I am related to him by birth. I am 2.5 years older.
There we go, man. Yeah, I just like put two and two. I saw in the face. I was like, wait a minute, like that looks a lot like Jason.
We get like, some people think we look alike. Some people think I've like a ginger beard. There's like hits and misses.
I have a ginger beard.
Facial expressions.
Well, I appreciate that, and if anyone else wants to share, please do. But I also actually want to open this up to, we have a really important time of year coming, holiday season, special energy in the air, right? Why am I going through all this travel? And Emma, because go home and see the family. Everyone, the world slows down. That's really important. So as we talk about this, or if Emma, Steve, Marty, you guys want to go again, like, we're also thinking about it in terms for the end of the year. I'd love to hear what people want to bring to that, that time of year. Because for me, it's really a special one. I work full-time. My parents work full-time. It's some of the best quality time I get to see them. A lot of friends are generally back home. So, what I really want to do, I've thought about this quite a bit. Emma actually inspired me about this. When we were at the retreat, she mentioned something about this, but my goal is to do two things. One is to be a really good listener. There's a lot of people I haven't seen in a while. I have my 10-year high school reunion. Shawn's laughing. Look at her smirk. She's like, you're old as shit. I got my 10-year high school reunion and gonna see a bunch of people. I just want to sit there and listen and make them feel good, right? Make them feel heard. That's really important to me. The other thing is, I do think there's some things I have to share with people. And I've realized the hard way, especially when people are close to you, like family, telling people to do things doesn't come off well. So I really want to start to lead by example. I don't want to talk about my workouts to my family. I want to say, hey, I'm sorry, I can't do this right now. I need to go run and go enjoy my run and come back with a smile, showing what exercise does for the body, eating healthy, right? Just leading by example. So those are the two things that I really am going to try to bring into the holiday season, which I'm gonna say starts today, the weekend before Thanksgiving. It's holiday season.
Mm. I'd like to jump in. So Shawn, let me just acknowledge that I think that what you just mentioned is super powerful, and just being able to mimic and model to, and let me go and use this phrasing in a way that doesn't feel polarizing, but break generational curses, or to like encourage other generations or even past generations to make certain habits is so important. And you know, I find myself doing that personally. I have cousins that I feel like I have to constantly encourage, but I can't do it through just beating them up and telling them, you need to do the right thing. It's like you have to do it in a way that's like, you have to show the result of it. It's selling. You have to show the value of it, and then
Yeah.
you know, kind of say, hey, you could do this too. But for me, during this time frame, let me do it in the right order. For this call, my intention is gratitude. I'm just appreciative of being in the room. For the holiday season, my intention more than anything is to create memorable experiences for my family. I have two young little girls, and it's extremely important to me that they have a good holiday experience, not so much around gifts, but just around energy, around family. You know, my wife and I, we make a very concerted effort to create and cultivate the right type of environment for them so they can feel confident and thrive. So, but that takes intention. It doesn't just happen. We got to be very thoughtful about conversations, the experiences, what we get them as gifts, what we don't get them as gifts, how we deal with tantrums, how we deal with you know, getting to places on time, as small as it might seem, but there's a lot of different things going on. So yeah, that's a lot of my holiday season now. And I also am making a bunch of gifts. So being very intentional and thoughtful about that experience also, just because it's kind of an antiquated thing. And I know that, but think it creates a different type of experience and memory. So I think it's worth doing.
For sure, man.
That is all for me at this exact moment.
Brian, dude, that I think what you're saying about your kids that's awesome. Like I remember I'm lucky enough to remember some good holiday seasons, and I'm very fortunate about that. So what you're doing is important. I do want to open it up and ask you what you're going to do to change your environment so it's going to be easy for you to continue that intention. And I'll repeat that question because before, I need to buy something from you. Can you make me something? Brian's a woodworker, if anyone wants to know. I want a slant board to stretch out my feet.
Yeah, send me an image of what it looks like in some dimensions, and that's like, I'm pretty sure I could put it together.
I'm pretty sure you could too. I want a slant board badly.
Okay. And what was the initial question you had about how I'm going to cultivate that environment?
Yeah, right. So, and you know, Steve, Brendan, Emma, if you guys want to jump in here, something that was amazing about the retreat was the environment forced our focus, right? I'm gonna say it again, the environment forced our focus. Everybody was there to honor like what we were doing. So, you know, if you're trying to bring certain energy to the next few months, let's, you know, I think a good example is like make this memorable time for your kids. What are you going to do to set up your environment for that to happen, right? I'm just curious, right? You know, maybe it's the house, maybe it's something, putting boundaries up with work.
Yeah. Can I jump on one more time? I don't mean to prioritize or anything, but it is at the top of my mind. For me, it is the physical environment, which is like setting up the house and stuff, but it's also like having very thoughtful conversations with my wife ahead of time, and just like setting intentions for us. Like, okay, well, if we got stressed out, this is what we do. This is not what we're gonna do. Because I think it's easy for us to get to that space. And I'm, I'm married 7 years. It's like it's a relationship. You have to figure out how to communicate effectively, but you have to communicate about communicating. At least in my experience, and that intention kind of helps move forward. And the other thing is, it's another type of communication, but communicating about the plans and the expectations around the plans, and taking that off of the kids. I don't have those conversations with the kids. I have those conversations with my wife, and it's our job to cultivate it for them. It's not really their job to, cultivate it for themselves, is at least how it goes on in my mind.
Yeah, for sure. And chatting with your wife is totally setting up the environment, right? Like, it's not necessarily a physical environment. Marquise.
What's up, guys? I'm trying to get my sound working.
Yeah, you better get that throat chakra working too. Going Jay-Z again.
No, I'm gonna give you some Wayne instead.
Uh-oh. Let's hear it.
Right
Marquise
now?
showed up late on purpose. He's like, oh, I got the lyrics pulled up.
No, I had to get the lyrics pulled because Wayne's too fast for me. Usually I like Jay-Z because he speaks in my cadence, I can understand him. Wayne goes too fast. All right. I can't even pull up the lyrics to the song that I want. So I'll just go do the Jay-Z song that I know off the top of my head because that's all I listened to when I was in high school. All right. So the Kendrick Lamar song, Don't Kill My Vibe. Right. So Jay-Z's got a feature on that song. Okay, Shawn knows it. All right.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Hey, sing along, Shawn. This is a group
All right,
activity.
yeah, go ahead, Shawn. Sing along. All right, so up in the clouds, me and my spouse. Rumors on the ground, getting too loud. Please turn us just down. Don't
Down.
down. Yeah.
You're good, Keith. We
Well done.
appreciate you.
I didn't want to steal spotlight from you.
I
I'm like,
froze up. I knew the lyrics off the top of my head, but now I froze up. Got all these people looking at me. So
Nah, you're good. You're good. I appreciate you, Marquise. Just for Brian, Marty, Shawn, Marquise actually was out in northern Idaho at the retreat as well, which was awesome. Have you out there, Marquise? We're kind of talking about intentions that we want to bring to the holiday season, Marquise. Spend time around family, things like that, and we're just kind of open it up. So, yeah, if anyone wants to kind of continue where that was going, sorry, I had to pick on Marquise.
I wanted to hop on with something that Brian mentioned in the beginning with kind of more like a generational trauma type thing he was talking about. So that's something I had noticed too recently with my family, over the summer, all my cousins are a lot older than me. They kind of range from 28 to 40 something. And I'm 23 and so it's just, big age gap. But I was talking to all of them and I just didn't know that they kind of realized the same thing with all of our parents. My mom's one of 6 and we all kind of grew up together. So even though there's the age gaps were pretty close, we kind of talked about we've had a lot of deaths in our family recently. And no one's just really been talking about it. It's just kind of everyone avoids the conversation, but everyone's really sad. And we had this really great moment. We all went to the Jersey Shore together over the summer. We do that every year for 2 weeks, but on one of the last nights, I don't know. I just started crying. My grandma started crying because I mentioned I saw a penny, and I know my mom's friend had said, oh, that can be a sign or something if you see heads up coins from the dead. And then my cousin started talking about how she sees pennies all the time and she thinks it's my aunt. And so my aunt and my grandpa had passed away recently. And then it kind of, it's okay. It's, they're in a better place, no longer in pain. I still feel connected to them in some way, which is good, but it kind of opened up a conversation for all of my family just to kind of talk about how we were feeling. like remembering the good times, like kind of that stuff that, you know, you don't, I guess like we were all trying to avoid even mentioning it so we weren't sad, but through that we were like isolating ourselves and dealing with our grief on our own when we should be like coming closer together and relying on each other. So this holiday season, I kind of want to bring that back. And, you know, with the holidays, there's always good food, good music, like there's no better environment to reconnect with your family. And, you know, especially since for us, it's going to be a holiday, the first one without my grandpa. I think it'd be, you know, that's my goal, is just to kind of like open up that conversation again. And
Wow.
I think like felt a lot like closer together, and almost like a weight had been off of our shoulders, just because, you know, we were finally able to like openly speak of our emotions about that together.
Thanks for sharing. Appreciate that. Before I just commandeer the conversation, anyone have to jump in or want to jump in with anything?
Shawn, I think that's so powerful, because we can be, I don't know, our families can definitely, you know, they might see little bits of your grandfather in you or your aunt in you. And right. So it could be painful just to have deeper interactions as a family. So I think it, you know, before the wound is scabbed over too much, like definitely continue to have those clearing conversations and just give love. Right. I think one of the biggest things this holiday season that my intention would be is just laughter. I mean, laughter is medicine. And I think, you know, for, you know, Shawn's side of the family, this is going to be the first one that everyone, like every family member is going to be at the table, is going to be in the same home. And so I just, right, like bring laughter. And if they are interested in knowing kind of the stuff that we've just experienced, like definitely willing to share, but just be there, be in their presence, and like laugh with them and have fun with them, and just truly soak up those moments, because it's so rare. And then on my side, same thing. My sister's coming in from Australia, like my aunt and uncle, kind of, we call it our six, my four, my parents and my sister, the four of us. And then my aunt and uncle, when we were growing up, it was just the six of us, right? Unfortunately, Shawn's going to be missing because he's going to be running his ultra. But, you know, being in that energy for 2 full weeks, like I don't remember the last time we've all been together. So I just want to be super present. I'm prepping with work so I can be really fully there with them, so I'm not distracted and being pulled and feeling stressed out that I'm missing stuff on both sides. But one thing that I definitely want to bring in is just the community in the kitchen. I don't know about you guys, but a lot of family stuff happens in the kitchen. Like that's where everyone hangs out. No one seems to gravitate away from the kitchen. It's like, that's the main spot. And over the summer, Shawn and I had a really cool experience when we were in Italy, and we had a private cooking. It's not even a class. We had like an experience with a nana. She was a beast in the kitchen, and she was so calm. Her presence was so calming. Like we cooked 7 dishes over 5 hours. And I don't know about you guys, but that's like Thanksgiving dinner essentially. And in my house, it's chaotic. It's not calming. And so just kind of, I want my presence to be calming. And then we also had a really cool experience when we were at the retreat with conscious cooking and cooking with love. And so I definitely want to weave in that intentionality in the. Yeah.
I'm kidding. Marquise, that's a dad joke.
I didn't hear what you said.
You said we're cooking with love. I said no, we are cooking with Scott.
Oh.
Guys, someone's name there was love. Sorry.
Oh.
I couldn't help myself.
Anyways, but right, like I wanna make just that's my intentionality, like calmness, focus, and just pouring, overflowing with love. But how I'm gonna do that is make sure that my cup is full first. Make sure that I've done what I desire and get to do to be in that energetic level. So just like me first, starting the day with my energy, and then I can radiate it outwards. So breath work, movement, walking, right? Like whatever it may look like, it could have a different flavor each day. And with the holidays, for sure, it could have a different rhythm, but starting with that and then radiate it out from there. So that's my intention.
I love what you
That's
said.
fair.
About, yeah, I definitely agree with the whole family always is coming together in the kitchen. Like that is my family to a T. And it'll be like so hot in there, because it's like cooking and like everyone's standing in there and we're like, okay, like turn on the fan. But
Yeah.
I really love what you said about starting the day, making sure your cup is full before you can, fully be able to like radiate like love and positivity. You need to make sure that like you're fully feeling that like just for yourself first, and making sure you're starting off your own day on a positive note, because I think it's really easy to, especially with family, put yourself second, because you want to be there for your family, you want to spend time, do everything with them, and even though like you love your family, it's great spending time with them, you have to make sure, my coffee cup has to be full too, whoever just said that. But yeah, for sure, just make sure you're not like fully draining from your own cup to make sure you can be everything for everyone else. I think that's important to remember.
Yeah. Shawn, I really, I'm glad you resonated with that. I resonated with that too, Emma. And I kind of want to take this full circle. We've talked a lot about intention, right? And a lot of people's intention. Let's bring our high level of energy and our awareness here, right? Guys, I really want everyone to just take a moment and be so grateful that it's 2022 and it's the age of abundance and we have information from our cell phones. We understand from a neurological standpoint how we can enter the flow state. These things like breath work, cold exposure, exercising, eating clean, meditating, these things get you into places that you're naturally present. You naturally have high, consistent levels of energy, and you can be the best version of yourself. So, as we're talking about this, I have no doubt that everybody has the intention to be present and aware, right? That's great. We got to put in the work, right? You know what I mean? I mean, it's like, I know there some former athletes on here, like, you're not just going to ball out if you don't, practice, right? Like you got to put in that work. And I think everything we're talking about for me right now is kind of like coming full circle, because I have some notes here that we're talking about presence and daily habits, right? And then Shawn, you're kind of talking about like kind of how do I like break down that that barrier with my family? Like be the weirdo. Say, hey, I'm gonna go take 15 minutes to do this cool new breath work. You could say, I'm just exploring it. If you don't want to act like some hippie guru, like just exploring it. I want to try it. I know they already hit. By the way, nice Pavs sweatshirt, South Carolina. Marty's
Right.
been there.
Rip Pav.
They still do dollar drinks on Tuesdays.
They shut down 2 years ago. They closed.
Mm.
It's so sad. This was like, it's literally
The
like a
last
sweatshirt.
sweatshirt.
Like it says like
yeah.
Vintage.
That's so
RIP.
fun.
yeah, for real. I could sell
But
this.
guys, yeah. Think about how this like all works together. We all want to bring high levels of energy, intention, awareness to everything we're doing, right? There's these daily habits that we need to get clear on that we know are going to help us do that. And we want to bring the family along. So by leading by example, that's what's going to happen. I mean, I got to be honest, guys, I saw Sam just join on. We got the whole damn retreat here. But like Sam, Marquise, Brendan, Steve, like you guys were there. Remember Thursday night, we're standing around the fire. You guys were all hanging out. I said I had to go. I woke up that morning and I put my work in. I did a run. Then me, Mike, Love, we did a breath work session before we went and did all the breath work shit. And that's just because you got to put your work in. You know what I mean? Like if I didn't do that, I wasn't going to show up clear headed. And if I didn't show up clear headed, how am I going to try to get you guys to show up clear headed? Right. So, Sam, what up, boss? How are you? We're
Hey man, thanks for having me.
Of course. Look, oh, you have your microphone set up. Outstanding.
Yeah, I got to make sure I'm coming through loud and clear.
Yeah, for your song.
That's right.
yeah, Marquise is happy it's not only him singing today. Which, you got your favorite song ready for us?
Dude, I'm ready. Do we have any Afro Man fans on the call here?
Yo.
Yo.
Dude.
All right, is it my turn?
Yeah, and I will definitely be joining in if it's anything he's ever produced.
Anyone know
Five,
Palmdale?
right?
Anyone know
Oh,
Palmdale?
Uh-huh.
All right. Just like bums, we used to stay in the slums of Bay LA. By the way, gangbangers killing each other for rep, selling rock cocaine on my doorstep. Had a ball to bounce, plus a bike to ride, but my mama never would let me play outside. But when I got enrolled in elementary school, started banging like a fucking fool. So fool throwing up gangs. All right. I think we hit 15 seconds.
Bars.
Next time I want 30. Okay,
Yeah,
Shawn? I want 30 seconds.
It works a
next
lot
time.
better when you remember the lyrics. Nice job, Sam. I got like through like half a verse and just forgot all the lyrics.
Oh man.
No, that's awesome. I appreciate you. And if you want to know the truth, I'm looking down at my phone so I could get that song queued up to start my run.
Colt 45 would have been a bold move.
Next time.
That's what I was thinking for a second. I was like, oh.
I was like, whoa.
Oh yeah. Whew. And then one other thing that came to mind there. We're talking about bringing this. So quick catch up for you, Sam. We're talking about in a lot of us at the retreat. One of the big things was intention. So we're talking about intentions we're bringing to the rest of the year, right? And how important that is. We got a lot of people. Not everyone's gone. We got a lot of people talking about presence. Bringing intentions, like their intention is to have actually intentions when they go into that part of the year. And we're kind of going over what Emma recently said. And one of the things, Emma, that I loved was you said laugh. We got a lot of quiet time at the retreat, a lot of time to be introspective. And I realized it's just that simple to laugh. When you really are present and aware, so much so that you're like taking in the big picture. Like, why wouldn't everyone be in a good mood right now? No one has that much work. Yeah, we're all busy, but we can be here for the next 17 minutes and like lock in with awesome, amazing people. Fucking Friday, Thanksgiving's coming up. Like life is like really good. And I think, that's something that Emma, I just wanted you to appreciate. I appreciate you kind of throwing that on like our plates to just take a moment and smile, laugh, whatever, like definitely let those emotions out. That really resonated with me. So open it up to kind of next person that wants to talk about what they're trying to bring into the end of the year.
I'll share, Shawn. So Ann and I are kind of the black sheep of our families. We've been on a personal development journey together for, over 15 years now, and on a healing journey for over 3 years. So where our mindset is at, and our habits are at, can actually make people feel a little bit uncomfortable if we're like being fully authentic ourselves. And so like one of my intentions is to try to figure out how to add as much value as I can to the family without, I don't want my light to be dimmed, like plain and simple, right? Like I want to let that sucker shine. So I appreciate everything everyone said on here about, making people feel special and laughing and just being present in the moment and finding avenues to relate to people without like, they might not want to talk about some of the same topics that I want to talk about, and that's okay. But just trying to meet people where they're at, I think, is the big thing. Thanks.
Yeah. Do you mind if I ask how you think you might do that? And feel free to speak generally, or feel free to like think about like this is how I'm going to help aunt, whatever, uncle, whoever do that.
Yeah, actually, I want to get people out into nature. I think that's a common language that every human speaks. And yeah, it's going to be cold in northern Wisconsin. That's okay. Like, let's go on a hike in the woods. Let's go for a walk. Let's just go out and appreciate nature. And that's my current plan.
Thanks for sharing. Thank you for sharing.
Can I
How you
mention
burn?
some?
Sorry. Yeah, Brian.
Steve, I wanted to just mention something that I often remind myself. Just I hear what you're saying in terms of the black sheep thing, and that being like a weird, I don't know. In this group, I don't necessarily feel like a black sheep, but I'm like the guy who just jumps out and says something positive and gives hugs and like, hey, I love everybody. But
Yes.
your light probably pokes at other people's insecurities, and you know, just allow that light to warm other people in passing. You don't have to set yourself on fire to let someone else be warm, but you can just kind of maneuver past them and let it just warm them a little bit. And they'll take something from it, you know. I appreciate you sharing that because it resonated with me.
I love that analogy,
You've
Ryan.
warmed me a little bit. I appreciate you.
Thank you, brother.
Yeah, I definitely resonated with that too, Steve. Just, you know, like especially with like being around your family and stuff, and like when you said letting your light shine, you don't want to dim your light. That's something I always, you know, I feel like I struggle with, and I've been working on just like fully allowing myself to be me, just with whoever I'm with, regardless, because I realize, you know, like my family, they're going to accept me for me, like however that may be. Like I feel like I always muted myself down a little bit around a lot of people. I'm very ADHD, for those who don't know me. I'm like hyper and I'll be like singing, dancing, breaking out in random like dance moves throughout the day, like literally a lot. And I'll try to mute that down, but I realized it was taking away from me and it was making me feel inauthentic. And it's just like not fun always feeling like you need to like control yourself or be like someone else than you actually are. So I just have started like letting, you know, myself out more and letting my light shine. So that resonated with me. Thank you for sharing that.
Dude, yes, for all of that. Like if we start to try and be someone else, that is just energy overload. It's going to take way too much to control every thought, to control every, you know, interaction that you're about to experience. Like just be you, and continue to remind yourself of that. We don't want chronic stress in our bodies. And a lot of times family can bring up that chronic stress because we are kind of just shoving things down. And let them know who you are today, because they might also have a picture and just a little you version of you were when you were like 14, or they remember you when you were 20, like whatever it is. Like they don't know who you are today, right? A lot of us spend a lot of time away from our family, so let them know who you are today and give them little nuggets of inspiration of that. But be you through and through.
And through that, I think we inspire other people to fully be themselves and to like continue following their passions, whether it be friends, family, or like random people you meet. Like I always find whenever I like talk about like true interests of mine, like with random people, you know, like I always feel like it's just like a great conversation, and like both people leave the conversation feeling like more inspired, which is, you know, always good to lift the positivity up in everyone you
Yeah, Shawn, absolutely. Something that's really interesting is it's sad, it's but happy. But like at this retreat, like I know like a lot of people there, like I know I'd speak for everyone on the call falls into this category. Didn't really know many people there and felt like they really opened up probably more with people at the retreat than they have with their own partner, family members, things like that. I see some heads shaking and it's difficult, Shawn, to like bring people together. Like I find that, right? Like I have two like old Jewish New York uncles that like are just like not on this fucking breathwork vibe. And it's interesting to try and like, kind of, like bring them along, but shining your light. And I think Brian, the third analogy of the call that you made up of letting it warm people as it passes them is a good analogy, right? We do want to be thoughtful, right? Like being over the top is going to make people feel bad, right? Like it's my dad recently got diagnosed with diabetes like 2 weeks ago, and I say diagnosed, I can go on like a little soapbox about the healthcare system. He's had the exact same sugar levels for the last 11 years, but they changed it. So now he needs medicine instead of a walk and healthy foods. But we were talking about, we had a serious, thanks, Shawn. We had a serious like chat about it. And right when I mentioned about I was like, Dad, dude, like, you know how much I love running, getting outside, like dude, get your ass outside, like take like a big walk. Dude, our conversation, literally, I said that. We were in a deep conversation. He goes, I'm getting kind of tired. I'm going to head to bed. That's just like his body, just like, no. Like he felt threatened by it, right? And, the way I delicately just said it is probably not how I said it. I was probably like, Dad, get the fuck off the couch, right? Like, you want to know how to get rid of this shit? Get the fuck off the couch and eat a carrot once in a while. Like, it's not that hard. And like, I need to, like, that wasn't me helping, right? Like we need to be thoughtful in the way that we can like actually do things. So definitely keep shining that light, and also just make sure that like, we're doing it in respectful ways for all of our families. Okay, Rob, showing up with 10 minutes left. You definitely just came to sing and leave. So like, let me hear. I don't know. Do you have a 10-minute song for us?
So I was traveling. I'm up at my rental property right now, and I didn't see your text before, and I was like, oh my God, I can't believe I missed it. And there's 10 minutes, but I said, hey, I bet I'll catch a nugget in 10 minutes. So I'll show up, even though I got to sing. So I was kind of worried about missing it, and I thought to myself, this song. So don't worry about a thing, 'cause every little thing is gonna be all right. And here I am on it, catch one nugget. I heard what you were saying when I popped on. I was listening to the book called Breath on the way up, and a really great book. But one nugget I caught, a single determining factor on your lifespan is your lung capacity. Number one determining factor. So a lot of cool tips and tricks in the book on how to improve that. And, but I know you're talking about breath. I think most people in here understand the importance of it, but thought it was pretty interesting to know that it was the number one determining factor in your lifespan. So.
Absolutely. I appreciate that. Yeah, man. Appreciate the song and appreciate you jumping on and sharing that. Guys,
I want to second Steve's comment to Brian. Absolutely want to second that. And then also kind of jump in just a little bit, just because some things that people have said have kind of resonated with me. Steve, in terms of, kind of being the black sheep of the family. And then Shawn talking about, how when we were at the retreat, there were a lot of us that didn't really know each other, right? We were kind of just entering this space and allowing ourselves to be vulnerable. And then Rob like jumps on, right? And he's kind of like, oh, I'm going to get on a bit late, don't know if I should jump in, but I'm just going to go ahead and do it. And like, I kind of feel the same way when I was coming into the retreat this past weekend. Like one of my chief concerns was just like fitting in and just vibing with everyone there. I was just really, I had decided to go because I was just like, I'm going to go. and just do it. But like it definitely gave me some anxiety going into that weekend. And then, you know, similar to today, like I come late this semester just because I have a class that ends at 12:10. And so I'm like, at 12:10, the class is over. I'm like anxious, like, oh, I don't know if I should like jump on, you know, I'm gonna be like 10, 20 minutes late. Like it might be better if I just, you know, just do something else and not interrupt the vibe of the conversation. And then I get here and it's like, no, that was like, why would you even think that kind of, you know, that thought process, right? And like I jump on and Steve is like, hey, and Brian's like, hey, and Shawn's like, what's up? You know, sing us a song. You know, coming out of the retreat this weekend, I felt like things kind of opened up for me, and like kind of, you know, like I don't know how to describe it, but you know, I felt like perhaps there was like overcast in my days, you know, mentally, going into the retreat and coming out of it, you know, things are really opening up. You know, I feel a little bit more sun, a little bit more warmth, you know, and part of that is tying to what Brian was saying, that other people's light kind of warmed me and brightened me. You know, one of the people there was Love and Mike Gazzo, who, you know, those two aren't on this call, but being in their presence that weekend, like they just both had such calming, grounding, and warm presence about them. And, you know, through some of the exercises and the modules that we did, you know, I felt like I really was flying out of Spokane like a different person, you know, or at least someone that's now, you know, has a, you know, a pathway has been cleared that I didn't see before. And so, yeah, I just want to just echo kind of what everyone was saying, and that's it.
Marquise, thanks for sharing, man. Thanks for sharing. I mean, a lot of things come there, you know, like, I mean, you've been on these calls and you and me are close, and, you know, I don't think you were like too down, but like you said, you know, some overcast days or whatever. And you know, it's for anyone out there, like there's a lot of ways to bring sun into the days. A lot of it's people, a lot of it's facing fucking things that scare you. I'm reading a book called Art of Impossible by Stephen Kotler that Emma thinks it's the only thing I talk about because I'm just loving this book. And when you're doing something impossible, the number, whether you are trying to learn to surf big waves, start a company or whatever, the number one thing that we need to focus on, or the number one skill that relates to all of them, is overcoming fear. And guys, we know what's right to do. We like, again, to me, it comes down to awareness, right? Like Marquise, you knew you had to be at the retreat, like, and you built the composure to get there, which is awesome. So, you know, I appreciate that. And Marquise, I don't know if you have anything that comes to mind now. If not, I'd like to talk through it with you with these last few minutes. I think this relates to everyone, but like, you had a powerful experience. You learned a lot. This was a powerful experience. I'm lit up with energy from you guys. What are we going to do to implement this every day, right? And I wanted to hear what you were thinking, Marquise.
Yeah, so one of the things, you know, I mentioned, I think to you and Steve and Brendan, we were in the car together going from the airport to the retreat. A couple weeks ago, like I had bought a couple pairs of basketball shoes, and I was telling Shawn in the car, like I hadn't played in like close to 2 years, if not a little bit more. And I had bought those shoes with the idea of like, okay, I'll get the equipment and like that'll like get me out there. And like I'd had the shoes for a couple weeks, and I can tell you I played basketball exactly 0 times. But coming back, you know, we talked about on that last day, you know, what are some of the little things to try to integrate into our lives moving forward to try to keep this energy that we had. And you know, I wanted to get back into exercise, and I feel like basketball was like an easy way for me to do that. Like, hey, in the morning, get up, you know, I've got access to the gym here at the university, opens at 6 a.m., get up, get in there, shoot around for a couple hours before the students show up. And then, you know, we did these cold plunges. I don't know, you know, we talked about that. Yeah. We did these cold plunges. We were in the this really cold lake for like 3 minutes at a time, guys. And like coming back from that, like I do not feel the same way about the cold. And part of it was the mental aspect of it, right? And like controlling your body and, you know, focusing your energy. So I don't feel cold the same way, both outside, you know, as the wind's going, but then also I've started to implement some cold showers, and emphasis on some. I did a couple this week. It definitely makes me appreciate the warm showers a little bit more, but like those are the two things I've done immediately. And I think journaling is a big aspect that I'll continue to do as well, to kind of carry that through, because I think you have to reflect too, and sometimes putting that down on paper helps you, you know, really see or feel what it is that you are experiencing or going through that you're not able to process just if it's all up here.
Yeah. Appreciate that, Marquise. You know what I'm hearing is you know, like a lot of like humility there and like humbleness. Like, you know, guys, we don't always have 20 other people and a fun lake to jump into. Marquise fun, right? But like you know, a cold shower, that's it. That's an easy way to do it. And like the journaling thing, I'm gonna tell you guys one of the major takeaways. We did a 2.5 hour creative writing session at the retreat. It was daunting. When I'm looking at the agenda, I got to be honest, you guys talking about things you were scared about. I'm like, what am I going to write about for 2.5 hours? That flew by because love made it fun. But also like writing, we literally wrote a story, right? And it was kind of like therapeutic. That's fun. Like, bear with me. The cold showers are fun. They're also cold and whatever, but you can't tell me you're not high energy and smiley when you get out of there. And like you said, there's, you know, makes the warm showers more, you know, you more grateful for the warm shower. So like just reframe all this stuff as fun, make it manageable. You don't have to jump in a lake every day. Take a cold shower, like that's fine. Like you don't need to journal every single day, Steve. But once a week, Steve, you do need to jot your thoughts down, right? And I think, you know, that's really what it's all about, guys. And I know we're out of time here. I always want to open up space. If anyone has anything they want to get off their chest, you know, please do. If you do have to go, completely understood as well. But really appreciate everyone making the time today.
I just want to give a journal recommendation real quick. I just got this journal. If anyone's interested in doing more creative, like thinking exercises, it looks like this. It's by Pilgrim Soul. I just saw an ad on Instagram and it says use this journal when high, and so I got it. And it's just like a bunch of it's just a bunch of prompts that focus on like different areas of creativity. I think it says like a couple little. Oh, okay. So one section works on creative imagination. One works on creative focus. That's more like problem solving, creative awareness, which is more aesthetic based. And then creative reflection, which is like a different approach for self-discovery and empathy. And I found it really interesting so far. So, and it was like only maybe like $20 to $30. I don't remember, but if anyone's interested and wants me to send the link, I can do that in the group me.
Shawn, I actually had that on my Christmas list last year.
I love it. I love it.
I didn't get it though, so maybe this year.
Ask Santa.
Cool.
Rob, you have little elves on this call, so you might find it in your stocking this year.
All right. All right. Love it. Hey, Emma.
Hi.
I last week was down in Cancun for a friend's wedding, so I missed the retreat, but getting up and swimming in that ocean before the sun came up, sitting on the beach, meditating while the sun was rising, man, just fantastic. So I had a really, really good time getting away in some ocean time.
Yeah, we gotta bye, Shawn. Yeah, we gotta catch up on that, Rob. But we had you there in spirit.
I'm pretty free this weekend, man. So just hit me up whenever. Sounds good.
Sounds good. Everybody, happy Thanksgiving. Let's implement what we just talked about. You know, I definitely want to hear about it. And actually, I am going to be releasing a date for another retreat here soon, which will be fun.
Yeah.
Brendan. Hey, shout out to Brendan, guys. Like, no one does this. Brendan sent me like a 1.5-minute video of him just talking to me. Not a snap, like a video that I just got to save and play back multiple times. Sam, I said, like, Brendan, I appreciate that, man. Like, that's love, dude.
Appreciate you guys.
Hope everybody has a wonderful week. I gotta roll.
You too.
Yeah.
Thanks, Brian.
See you guys.